Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to episode 25 of the Sunflounder Chronicles. I am Brohammington, and joined with me, my co host.
Amadeus.
There he
Amadeus.
is.
I'm Amadeus.
Absolutely. And before we jump up into anything like crazy, I want to bring another guy up into the pod with us. Um, Another Sunflower Illumineer Elite, Dr. Nog. What is up, my guy?
Hello, hello. Remember to eat your veggies.
Remember, hey, that's advice from the doctor, man. And I will let everybody know he is a real doctor.
Yeah.
And
Tried and true.
yeah, but okay, so the first thing I want to point out on this episode is I need to first I need to fix Amadeus's webcam thing real quick because y'all need to see this goofy shit stuff.
Oh my gosh, dude.
There it is.
You gonna out me?
There it is.
Yeah, flash it. Show
There,
it.
there it
Okay,
is.
hold on.
Uh oh.
Let me get
Uh oh. Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
He's taking the hat off, guys.
Oh, no. The hat stays on.
Oh.
No.
There you go. There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Freshly packed to sleeve. Is that what they call that? Packed to sleeve.
And then
top
and
loader, whatever. Pack to sleeve to top loader to
Heck yeah.
4 layers of protection on this girl.
Hey, I
he
don't.
did say if you used your Twitch Prime, he would give it to you. So don't forget to use it.
There you go.
Is that what I said? I think it meant.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Hey,
guess we'll have to see how many prime subs we get.
dude, they're about to start coming through now. Look at that. Dude, that's it. Yeah, but anyhow, hey, dude, nice pull on that card. Good, congrats, my guy.
Thanks, man. It was a cracked case. It was this and
Yeah.
an enchanted Hades, so can't really beat that.
Hey, if you want to get rid of that
Hey.
Hades, you know who to talk to.
Hey, if you pull a Dumbo, I'll be talking.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What about you? What about you, Doctor Nog? You pull anything cool? You.
I took a little break from buying packs. I didn't open any Reign of Jafar,
Uh-huh.
and that's because of previous two sets, Arcadia's Island and what's the other one? Sally Azrael. No, wait.
Azrael.
Azrael.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought a case of each, and I did not get an enchanted out of the 2 cases.
Yeah.
So honestly, the big reason why I bought it is because I needed some cards for competitive play.
Sure.
And out of my first box, I got the enchanted max, so I was pretty jazzed about that.
Dude.
And it usually the ratios are like 1 enchanted per case. So I was just kind of trugging along, and then box number 3 saw a little bit of gold in there, and then it was the honey wizard, which is like the one that I wanted the most. So I got 2 enchanted. So
That's a good one.
Wait, you
yeah,
wanted you wanted you actually wanted the Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard?
yeah, dude, that's my favorite card. I think a lot of people really like that. And like I said, I wasn't expecting it. And I kind of honestly, since I was so focused on all the competitive cards, I kind of forgot that was in there.
Yeah.
And so it was a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
I have a buddy that's a diehard, and he's like, "I'll pay double for it." And this is play
send him
mat
my way.
sleeves.
Yeah, right.
Everything.
Yeah. I no longer want this card. He can have it for double.
No, yeah.
Resale prices. Resale price.
I will say though, I really like the fact they added those extra, like the extended art cards. I think it made the opening the boxes a lot more fun. At least that's how I felt.
The
Yeah.
Are you talking about the icon? Or not the iconics.
No,
the epics.
Yeah.
The iconic and the epics, adding more rarity to the packs, because
Yeah.
usually a box has like 4 legendaries on average,
Right.
so you kind of just go through the motions, but now like you never know that iconic Minnie or Mickey's gonna pop up. Like, I mean, Amadeus, what was it like for you to when you opened that card?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really believe it. I figured we were gonna have to spend a lot more money than just the first case.
Right.
But luck is definitely a factor. And to tie on to the epics, I think the epics made opening boxes so much more fun. I mean, I got the Cusco and I was like juiced about
Right.
the Cusco epic. That was awesome, and they actually did a really good job combining the lift and the foil on the epics. I really like them. What about you, Brohammington? For open, I know you guys opened a little bit, not as much as me or the doctor. But did you guys get any good pulls?
So we opened 2 boxes. I stopped by one of the LGSs and was able to snag a couple boxes, and
Mm.
we were ripping packs real fast in the parking lot of my son's soccer
Yeah,
practice.
couldn't even wait. Couldn't even
Could,
wait to get home.
couldn't do it, dude. Like competitive play this weekend, dude. I'm looking for cards. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
like, much along the lines of Dr. Nog's statement of like forgetting that some of these enchanteds were in there. We got an enchanted Steamboat Willie. So I mean, like,
A great vanilla,
dude,
great vanilla.
I was looking at the card yesterday, dude. I did not know that he was a captain.
I
Like,
don't think I would want anything else driving the boat. He's got to be a captain.
dude,
He does have a hat.
He has the hat. I never know. Like, that's how little I've paid attention to that card. Like, but like actually like looking at the artwork, like the artwork on it's like
It's great.
It's fantastic.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The
I think that's what people are excited about. The Winnie the Pooh was. I know they were.
Yeah.
I'm newer to the game, and as soon as I joined, I knew they were upset that he didn't get an enchanted the first go around.
Right. Well, it's like, and much along the lines of what you guys have already added to is like I think that the having the epics in the cases or in the boxes or whatever, like having those artworks are absolutely amazing because like with the majority of the set being reprints, I think that epics and iconics just add like some value to wanting to buy product or whatever,
Yeah, especially if you're a veteran player, it gives you something new to look for.
Right. And like you got to get your enchanted Hades and Bell accomplished mystics, right?
That bell is.
I need it. I need it.
Or like where you get prize packs for like when you go to set champs and you get like a pack for a win.
Right.
I used kind of just I open. I don't really pay much attention, but now like there's always a shot you can get even just an epic that's like pretty
right.
Pretty
Yeah,
big.
and like I think epic Cuscos are pre-selling for like around like $40 or something like that, or $70.
Now, yeah, it was 80.
Now, granted, that's pre-sale price, so after everything, it's probably gonna drop to like 25-ish. But I mean, like, still, like,
it's still great. Yeah,
you rack them up, baby. But the so
for 4,
right. So, okay, so off of so that was kind of the polls or whatever. So, what are your guys' thoughts on the current meta? Because I see a lot of like Twitter I'm pretty active on Twitter, and I see a lot of Twitter activity, based around like, oh, I don't think it's good or whatever. I want to get your guys' thoughts on what the current meta or what the meta currently looks like.
I mean, not have played any competitive events in 9, and just like having to go off of what I think the meta is going to look like. Obviously, it's going to be aggro heavy, and how do we combat aggro? But I know I've also heard that from in person and social media that it's not in a good spot, and all of these colors got stripped of all their core cards, and you hear a lot of people saying not the greatest things right now, which it's just I think anytime you compare something to something else, whether we compare it to a different TCG or whatever it is, well, they have board wipes, and that's why it's so balanced, and it's just you can't compare it to anything else because Lorcana isn't anything else, right? So I think until we get some competitive events and we see, I mean, you haven't lost to aggro, so it's like, is that really the problem?
Right. Not hey, Dr. Nog, what's your take on it?
I think that I kind of agree with Amadeus. I think the way that I describe it is like comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah.
People are like comparing this to how it has been the last year and a half, and I think it's a pretty different like format. Not even the meta, but just the format. There's like the power level is definitely low. I find there's a lot of swings, but I think there's a lot of focus on like the negative aspects of it. I think people aren't really like taking the time to explore what options we have to combat what may or may not be the troublesome decks. And then, I think they need to give it some time to see how everything shapes up. Obviously, the first couple of tournaments might be a little wonky, but you got to give time to you got to let it simmer for a little bit and see how things kind of develop.
Yeah, I also agree with all points made there. The I think so. My take is we've gotten so used to like playing powerful, like really powerful cards for 2 years, and now that the cards that we were so reliant on have rotated out, um, some people just don't know what to do because like for 2 years, blue red has been very dependent on double ramp and then B prep the following turn, and
Well,
now blue red can't do that.
well, I think, I'll even simplify. I think people have been too dependent on cards like Beeper Person since the beginning. I mean, set one right off the bat, they gave us like a extremely powerful card. I mean, and like the other card games I have played, a card like that is just like it's a very powerful card to be able to just clear the board because here like your researches are your ink and then your field.
Right.
You don't really have much interaction in like with your discard pile. And then I mean your hand is to a point, right? But this is such a low resource game that like your hand it doesn't matter as much because a lot of times both people are like low card counts. So like a big way that you won games is having a big board, and then straight up from set one, they gave us Be Prepared, which just wiped the whole board. So
Right.
I think where I'm kind of trying to get to is I think a lot of this is an issue with like the way the game was designed off the gate, and I
Okay.
think that had they had imagine if we had gone the first season one without cards like Sisu or Be Prepared, and then they just introduced those cards now. Like think about how different like things would be right now. But since they kind of came out guns blazing, and now they took our toys away, people are just, they're freaking out.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. It was like it was the same way whenever like they did the errata on Bucky, right? Like that changed the meta in itself just when that happened.
The Hiram ban. I mean,
Like
all these things.
right. But I mean like now that we're entering like a rotated format, I Maui set one hampered a lot of aggressive decks right out of the gate. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like one of the easiest ways or one of the ways that the DKP style red blue with list one is just like you ramp and then you just start spamming Mauis.
Hmm
Like that's if you do that, you'll just win. You'll just end up winning the game. And it
Protect
was
the manor. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it is like sometimes you don't even have to protect the mana, right? You just gotta just make sure your opponent can't turn sideways for anything or whatever,
it,
So I mean, like, I'm really I I'm really excited for this post rotated like meta that we're entering in because I feel like especially like week one, like I think I can't remember. I think it's SSG is this weekend.
Yeah.
And I think that like people that are actually like really good at deck innovating and deck building are going to completely shine this weekend.
And they're gonna set the meta. Like let's say somebody brews up some just weird deck and it does really well.
Yeah.
People are gonna go and net deck back and play that. So like I think that you might have a chance to have some really, wonky or some decks out of the blue. Because I think it's also kind of a little interesting that we're like in pre-release and then people are acting like the meta is solved. Or think about like, oh, everybody's, Amber Seal's the best deck. Now people are saying Amethyst Seal is one of the best decks, and then, but if you hop online or you test with your friends and you like keep an open mind and try different color combinations and different lines, there's a lot of decks are really good right now.
Right.
In this vacuum, so I don't think anybody's solved this meta, and I think everybody's too focused on the boogeyman and trying to do things a certain way that they're just focusing on the wrong things instead of focusing on like the bad and the ugly, like this is the chance for you to play cards you've always wanted to play
Right.
or do strategies you've always wanted to play.
Right. Yeah, I very much agree with that. There are cards from like sets 1 through 4 that got reprinted that never seen play in a competitive setting.
Mhm.
It's like improvise a scene play. Like give a character +1 strength and draw a card. That card has never seen play up until now. I mean, like it's pseudo removal for Iago, but outside of that, it doesn't do a whole lot. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Amadeus?
I think anything that says draw a card right now is probably gonna see play. No,
I mean, you're not wrong.
the
You're not wrong though.
yeah, no, I think it's a lot of cards that didn't get a chance. Maybe 1 through 4 are gonna get to shine, but even cards that were playable at League for your fun decks. Like I'm thinking Rhea and Kita and stuff that just wasn't the greatest when you had board wipes. You're able to do those things, and the weirder stuff that you were trying to pop off, like there's not as much per se interruption or things that are gonna stop you from your game plan. That's one thing I've noticed with a lot of the set 9 decks. Um, unless the deck is just reactive, normally some kind of sapphire, you have like a set game plan, a set line that you're trying to get. You're trying to get somewhere. You're trying to get Dumbo established with evasives, or
Right.
you're trying to get your big questers on the board. So I haven't played a game of set 9 meta where I haven't been smiling the whole time, because I feel like before things were getting mundane, it was the same thing. We were playing checkers, and now when you go play competitive Lorcana, it's going to be more of a chess match. You're setting up turns prior. You have to use your characters as removal, and that's the main thing that I tell people when they say, "Well, be prepared, it's gone. The game's destroyed." It's, well, why not? Let's look at this other option, like improvise, to
Yeah.
give this evasive character that didn't see play one more strength, and now it clears the genie or something like that. So I would fully agree with Dr. Nog and yourself. Now I didn't play much 1 through 4, so I get to play these cards for the first time full power, which is fun.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You
The
know, the one
go.
of the cards that like real quick that I like am really impressed by, and I'm glad it's getting some plays. Vincenzo Santorini coming in with a 2/8, smacking something for 3. That is like
Hey,
such a bad looking
dude,
card in the previous set because of the 2 willpower, and now like dude, it's a really good card.
smash on a stick, dude. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, like anything that's like pseudo removal on a character is like so good right now because you remove something and you establish a body, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, like that's like one of the reasons why, like in my what color what colors was it? I think it was my blue purple list. I think on my blurple list I was playing the 1-drop Basil that just gives
Yeah,
support. So it's
I
just
like
one.
that card.
Yeah, I think the card's amazing, but it wouldn't see play outside of this format, you know.
No, yeah,
But
I was testing it in Ruby Sapphire. Yeah, the 2 strength because you're challenging a
Yeah,
lot.
the 2-1, one more.
right, it's like most of the character clear right now is coming from challenging. So like
Hmm.
having ways to exert your character or your opponent's characters, or uh like one card that I'm at, like I love the Emerald Steel list right now because I'm playing Strength of a Raging Fire and I'm playing a 3-drop max to get it back after icing it. So it's like I'm essentially playing 8 copies of Strength in my deck.
Yep.
It's like, but there's just
In
like,
a removal light format, it just feels great.
yeah. And it's like the other thing that I'm playing too is like 4 Fire the Cannons with 2 of the Captain Hooks that get Fire the Cannons back out of the discard.
Okay, the 4-drop. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean like that was really strong in set 1, and now it's like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say it's like really strong now, but I mean like you're getting a free 2 damage back from establishing a board, or
Yeah, no, I can see where getting resources from anywhere in this meta is, I think, how your deck is going to get the advantage. I mean, they printed Circle of Life, and I think if you can get resources from your discard, from your, people are going to be picking stuff up with Mufasa, with Ink Geysers. So
Yeah.
really, anywhere that your deck can get resources from to build some kind of advantage, that's going to be the key in set 9.
There was a person yesterday that I was playing against. They were playing more of like an Amber Steel mid range with like Circle of Life and like Sonic Warriors and stuff.
Okay.
And they established a turn 2 Singer 4 and a turn 3 Singer 4. And
I know where this is going.
And they didn't get back Big Mickey though. They got back Surfer Stitch.
Oh yeah, I actually have seen that one.
So it's
Surfer Stitch.
Draw 2 cards. Right?
Yeah, you just draw a cut. I'm just gonna draw a couple cards, guys. And then it's there's just a lot of different lines that are capable of being played now, and it's like one of those things where you can't really like rule anything out without testing it.
Yeah, I feel like everything, maybe not everything, but there are certain things that definitely have a fair shot on any given day that I would say didn't have a shot in the prior meta. So.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely Dr. Nog, I know you've been testing online quite a bit. Is there like what's the weirdest thing that you've seen that you're like, "Huh, that is kind of neat?"
There's been a couple that have caught me by surprise. So I think the one that I was like most caught off guard by, and that was really good, was the Eraser deck with King Candy.
Oh, and Glimmer versus Glimmer.
Yeah, it's not. I got pretty. I got smacked pretty hard by that one. Just because it's just like he had 2 King Candies out, so if I like, he banished one of his other Erasers, and he got 2 triggers off of them, so he banished 2 of my guys. And it was just like a lot. And then he was playing that big Wreck-It Ralph that gets Eraser back from the discard.
Yep.
He just kept doing that. I think that one was really cool. And I've played against some like Amber Sapphire Princess decks that are like sometimes pop off pretty hard. I thought that was kind of funny. Right now, actually today, I've seen a lot of, and I hate that I'm seeing this again, but Ruby Amethyst, like, dude, just put it down.
Just
take
it out back, man.
Is it the Tigger deck that just plays
not the one. No, it's like it literally ran like as many 1-drops to combat aggro, so like Rafikis and Royal Guards, and then it went into like an evasive package towards the middle and top.
Oh right, which they're doing like the 3/1 Vanellope, right? That has evasive. It's like the Pegasus.
Yeah, but then it went into Moana, and then into Moana, into Elsa, into Shark, sing second star to the right or whatever.
Oh.
Draw a bunch of cards, get lore, and then they turn your guys side with Elsa, smack with Shark, sing it again next turn, keep drawing, and I was just like, what the heck?
Yep, I want to give a big shout out to Moyen from the Podcana podcast for making this thing like an actual deck. Because there's like
is that where it came from?
Yeah, at 100%. I listened to their podcast yesterday, and that's 100% where it came from. It was
that makes sense.
It was like, oof, guy. What?
I'm like, dude, like give it a rest. Like just put Purple Amethyst away. You know, like it's been. Since set 1, yeah, just let it. Same with Amber Steel. Just like try something new, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like that's why I really enjoy seeing like the Amber Sapphire decks pop off. I'm glad Blurple's actually having its time to shine. I think last format, I think Amethyst Steel was probably the best color combo that you could make. So it's like. It's still up there, and I'm glad to see that because it hasn't really been a thing until last set or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be other wacky things that come up. I think another deck I think is really good too, and I think a lot of people aren't exploring it. Is like the Doggo deck. That deck is scary, man.
Yeah, yellow green, right?
Yeah, because like. There's turns where they can just buff up all their guys and clear your board, and then they play that 2/8 I forget his name.
tramp?
The tramp.
Yeah.
The one that draws you a card whenever one of you guys is banished.
Yep. Good thing Under the Sea puts him at the bottom of the deck.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
for
I've
the
seen a
Earth
lot of the
you.
lists put in that genie, so he just quests, and then they quest with everything else, and now all the dogs trade. So
Yeah, I mean that's, dude. I am a big
I know
believer.
you're big on
I
him.
big. I am big on my on the genie guys. Like that card, I like the line in Emerald Steel of going Scar or Genie Scar and then draw 5 off of Lawrence. Love it. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. The so yeah, but the yeah, I think that going circling back to like the negativity online and everything else, like it's okay to be upset about like prior or product allocation or like the amount of reprints. Like I get how frustrating that is for like veteran players, but like we want the game to grow, so it's like I'm not really that upset about it.
Yeah, because and I think it was pretty bad. And I don't know. What do you guys think about the? I saw a lot of negativity come off after the PPG event got like announced as a CCQ or whatever the letters are.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Yeah. So CCQ, the challenge is like the challenge qualifier.
Challenge,
Yeah.
challenge champion
Champion.
qualifier.
Yeah. Something
yeah,
like that.
whatever the letter. Well, they got where you got to like the top player, like the winner and maybe the runner up get like a spot for the North. It's a North American
Yeah.
Continental, right?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's
so like people were like really upset about it because thank you, championship challenger qualifier. Okay. Like people were like so upset about how there was only a 2 week notice, which I mean that is don't get me wrong, that is it's not good, but
it's
like
annoying.
people were like, "Oh my God, like they did this again. They're not communicating. They're doing this." We're like, I mean, in reality, and I mean we might not know, but in reality, it was probably like a logistical thing. But people were like so negative and being so like a little bit of entitlement on Twitter, like like I can't plan this. Like, why didn't they tell us ahead of time? Like, brother, it's like a card game.
Right.
And as someone who's like, I'm recently got back into the game and I use Twitter to like see what's going on. Like, being on Twitter and seeing like these big names being super negative about the game, and I know like it's just kind of like a little off-putting, like imagine you're like a new person and they're like, okay, yeah, get on Twitter, follow these people to kind of see where the events are, what's meta, what the big events are going, like what the pros are playing, things like that. And all you see is just a bunch of people being like overly negative about like the game you're trying to get into. I think it might be a little off-putting. It's not the most welcoming thing because
Right.
I don't know. I feel like in a set time, like Lorcana Twitter used to be like really positive and like super nice, and there's a lot of like pro or big names that went from like being like faces of the community like just doomers now. I know it's kind of sad to see people kind of build their platform that way.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that. It's um and this is, I think there's a lot of people that this is their first TCG. There's a lot of people that are still trying to get into the game, and like they can they like you said, man, they see all of this, they see all of the negativity and everything else, and it's like, why would I want to play a game where people are being like overly negative about stuff, like out of so I've played multiple TCGs from like Pokemon to Magic the Gathering to Bandai games, and it's like the one thing that is very good for all of them is a rotation, like a rotating format.
Mm-hmm.
And just because the format isn't the way you like it now doesn't mean that like in Whispers of the Well they could just reprint Popsicle in Whispers of the Well, or they can give us like 8-drop Sisu back or something like that. Like it's not like Fabled is just a filler set to patch certain things. And it's like you don't want to print all of these bombs back at one time, because from the way that I look at it is that, like, they printed a lot of bombs in Sail the Azurite Sea with like the 6-drop Tamatoa, the Scrooge, or was that Arcasia's Island?
Yeah, it was Arcasia, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, Half
Like
Shark and
like they
Tamatoa.
printed all of these blue red bombs in that one set. The format was 85% blue red. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is like, if you would just like zoom out, right? So we have that one set in front of us, and if you just zoom out a little bit and you look at um set 7 and 8 as a whole, if they would have released both of those sets at the same time, I don't think Hiram would have needed to be banned. That's just a hot take that I have, because of how prevalent Rhino was after after set 9 or set 8 came out. But like, it gave aggro decks a spot to flourish, um and I don't think that actions needed to be necessary. But then there was the whole Doomer aspect of, like, when Tamatoa and Shark got revealed. They're like, oh well, I guess the game's just over now, like you were saying.
Yeah, they gotta, it's just like you gotta let things kind of pan out first, and um, like I don't know, like people have different like thoughts, or they see things differently, and uh, some people, take this game, like there's a spectrum of how serious people are at this game. Some people just enjoy playing the game. Some people, this is something they make a career out of, and I think everything's fine. It's just, like if you find like it's too negative, then like maybe do something else with your time, where you're not spending so much time being negative, because after all, like, yeah, life is short, and it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of sad to see, and like how the community's gone from like early on being really positive everywhere to negative. Now, I know there's been a lot of like negative things that's come to the game, but I think it's a lot of it's being worked on by the dev team. But it's just, I'm just hoping that like going forward, there's more positivity around certain things, not just doom and gloom. Because honestly, like I like being on Twitter, not for those like socialization part, but like just to get info. I'm
Right.
hungry for info. I want to see what people are cooking. I want to see who's dropping new metaphys. Like, I just want to know who's like, who's out there grinding, and like what decks are doing well in testing, and like what decks are doing good on events. I want to hear what the pros are thinking to help me prep. But like every other tweet I see that's related to Lorcana is just like, here they go again. Is they're doing this to upset us, and yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it gets old after a while. And like this legitimate business person says, it's like the criticism gets confused with negativity, and it's because it's just, yeah, it's hard to, like, when you read the same thing over and over again, and then in
Right.
a certain tone, it just kind of like it loses its value.
Right. And it's like, it's also, let's not like misconstrue it, because like, it is hard to read somebody's tone through a text, right?
Sure.
So it's like somebody can make a sarcastic post and like
Uh-huh.
try to be funny with it, but then it just comes off at like, oh, this guy is a booty head, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Smells like
so,
doo.
yeah, yeah, and stuff like that. But like, I completely agree with you. It's like, I really do hope that the community comes back to like a more like positive centric, like, everybody already knows the bad. Like, we don't need to keep talking about the bad. We can just take some time and talk about how fun testing all of these different color combinations are that have never seen play before.
Yeah, agreed.
But
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, like, hey, man, it really stinks that they were only able to let us know 2 weeks in advance that PPG is going to be the first CCQ,
right,
as opposed to, man, here they go again, dropping the ball, and things like that. Like, I think after, and I think, with how, like, with the lore cast have been going, and how like open people are, I think should they have been able to like give us a better heads up, they would have, because there's literally no positives that come out of like giving a short term notice, right?
Right.
So like I wish people would just like take their doomer glasses off, or just look like you said, look past the things that have been negative in the past and be like, hey, things are trying to improve, and be like, hey, yeah, this time we were only able to give us 2 weeks notice, maybe hopefully they can kind of give us more heads up next time. And yes, it does
Right.
stink, but not everybody's out to get you. And and it also means that people value what you have to say. If you have something to say, people are willing to listen to you.
Right.
And so don't use your time or your chance to like have a platform and like make some
Mhm.
connections. Like don't be don't use that like don't make a negative out of that opportunity.
Right. Absolutely. It's like, and touching on that too is like, PPG is a CCQ. So we know that the next PPG is probably another CCQ. Like, that's how I look at
Yeah.
it. Like, it's not like a oh, they're late for this time, they're early for the time after this. That's kind of the way that I looked at it. Well, it's like, I'm not gonna try to beat around the bush. Like, I was planning on going to PPG Denver anyways, but now it's
Yeah.
like, now I have more incentive to go. You know, and
Yeah.
it's
And it's like, and also like if you think about it, right? They were announcing they're gonna have these CCQs, and then do PPG used to run like the DLCs.
right.
Like it was kind of like you could have like made a safe bet that if there was one of these big events at the beginning of the season that might like sneak by, that this would be it. Um, so to me, honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm just going because I want more experience playing in big tournaments because I'm fairly new to playing in big tournaments.
Right.
And I was just going for the experience. So this is just an added plus because this means there's going to be a lot more. Hopefully, it means there's going to be more like really good players here to kind of learn from and play against. So like I don't have it. I don't have like a horse in this race. I know, like I'm just being realistic. I know that I'm not like the type. Like I just I don't, I'm not I don't have the experience to be in contention to win one of these spots, for these events. I just, I'm just going through the experience. So like, I don't have a horse in this race. I just want, I just want Twitter to go back. Or I just want people to be more positive about the game because this game, I've played a lot of card games, and this is the one that like usually I play what my friends play, and this is one that I've just like enjoyed playing myself because it's Disney. I think the mechanics are cool. I think that it's pretty like straightforward. There's not a lot of like cumbersome complexity to the game. It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh where you have to like know these interactions.
Right.
It's just like it's a fun, simple game, and I just want people to like have fun with it and just like don't get lost in the negative sauce.
Right. Yeah. This game is definitely like, it's as complicated as you want it to be, right? Like, there are very complex lines, but it can also just be a simple game. So I mean, like, yeah, I definitely think that this is one of the best TCGs that I've played. Like, not only for like play experience wise, but also for like collectability.
Like think about it, you can just play an aggro deck where you can just play a character, turn it sideways, and just try to get to 20 ASAP.
Yep.
Or you could play like a really complicated deck, like like that green blue items deck
Yeah.
that was running around last set, where you're sweating, you're having to count math, you're having to use two playmats to keep all your items in there, and you're ramping and all this, and you're doing all this. So like you can kind of get out of it what you want. And if anything, you can just like you want to play a deck with from your favorite movie, you go for it. I think it's awesome. You get to play with your favorite characters. Now, like I know a lot of people were like wanting like the power line cards, they're in
Yeah.
here. Like, a lot of people can just come and play with, their favorite movies. And that's what I like about the game. That's what I focus on. It's like, dude, I get to play with, I love, Frozen. I get to play with Elsa, things like
Right.
that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Completely agree with that. Landon, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with his point. I think it should be. I mean, everything that you turn into a competition, obviously, there's going to be a little bit of like quote unquote sweatiness that comes with it. But that's the nice thing about Lorcana is you ask anybody, and it's what card game has not necessarily like I'm gonna just claim the best community, but what card game has the nicest community? Nine
Right.
times out of ten, you're gonna hear Lorcana. And if you like the doc was saying, if you get on Twitter, I don't think that you would necessarily get that vibe like right now, because things are just, oh no, we're screwed, they blew it. And like, like you guys said, that's not the case. I've had people get cards from me all the way to, hey, can you pull out every Stitch card that you're willing to get rid of, because my daughter loves Stitch,
Right.
or Aladdin or Cusco, all the way up to people send me, deck lists because they're going to go play a tournament, or hey, can I play one of your decks for the tournament? And no matter what, it's normally always a positive interaction.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that, we don't want to manifest is the negativity on Twitter coming into, or anywhere really that you hear negativity, because I hear it in my LGS when I'm playing against people that I know. They're just like, they lose and they're like, oh, this meta is awful without being prepared. We don't want that negativity to transfer into our tournaments and our leagues and stuff like that, because then we become not this awesome community that we have right now. So
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that point. The legitimate business person says, also, if you don't like this set, you just need to wait till next set. Next set is the Decandio set. So that tells us that Rapunzel reprint is confirmed.
confirmed Decandio.
Oh man, that's funny. No, that's that's a very good point too. Is like sometimes taking a mental health break for your own sanity is completely needed and valid. Like don't get the thing that we want to keep reiterating here is like, just don't get caught up in all the negative whirlwinds. If you need to step back for a little bit, nobody's going to fault you for that. The doctor Nog took a step back for a little bit because
life got busy, and I'm thankful that like life was able to get busy,
right.
and I took a break from the game, and I'm back, and I'm really enjoying it. I actually really enjoyed the. I kind of wish I would have played more set 8 because I was having a blast. I was playing like just a bunch of decks, and I think all of them were like really fun to play. And then now like you get to start from scratch, and there's gonna be all these cool new decks that like with color combos that you haven't played before. Like like I was playing testing some like Sapphire Green, and that's a color combo that I just never tried before. Now I get to try it. And it's like fun, and it's different
Right.
in its own way. And then yeah, like think about the cards that they're going to print, and then there's always that like you got to keep at the back of your mind, right? It's like not only what they're printing, but what are they reprinting? Because they could reprint like some random card, and it can all of a sudden just be like amazing and like shift the meta. Like it doesn't have to be something that was overpowered before, but just think of like there could be some card out there that just needed the right environment to be like absolutely broken, and it might be on its way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Magic the Gathering has been around for
That's what I was just about to use
years.
as a reference. They
Like
print a new card and
yeah. So it's like whatever. So like they have like similar to our Infinity format, they have a Legacy format. So it's like they may print something in like the next set that like combos off with a card that they printed like 19 years ago that they had no idea that still existed. So it's like just little things like that could like mix up formats too. It's just like there's just so many things that are just like fun.
Yeah, like the game that I played the most, and that's where I started playing, was Pokemon, and they do a yearly rotation.
Right.
Like that's just how it always is. And then they'll reprint some like basic staples,
Sure.
but not all of them. And rotation is like the best time of the format because you get all these like yeah, the good decks are still good for the most part, but like a lot of the good stuff leaves kind of like now, like like their version of like the Amber Steel song or like Ruby Sapphire will rotate out, then something new will come and take its place.
Right.
And then at some point they'll reprint like an old staple, and then it'll make a completely different like archetype is like the best deck for like a rotation or two. Not rotate, yeah, like or not even a rotation or two, but like a set or two. And then it just keeps the game fresh, and it keeps it from being stale. And I think that's one thing that people aren't really maybe like taking in consideration. Like, yeah, we don't have all these like really fun and overpowered cards, but it's like getting rid of all the staleness.
Right.
Like,
This is
You're not going to be going up against. Sorry, not going to be going up against your a deck that well, here comes 7 ink. I'm gonna lose everything that I've worked for the whole game off
right.
one card.
No, I completely agree. Like, just it's kind of like the game's just it's gonna be essentially a new game. Well, it's gonna have the feel of a new game. And it's like it's up to individual players to determine, like, what is the meta gonna look like? Like, what is okay, so what's the biggest three decks? Or like, what deck can I build that beats those three? I think that it's kind of like I think it's in a like kind of a weird rock paper scissors format, where like Amber Steel beats whatever, and then Amethyst Steel beats Amber Steel, and then Blurple comes in, and yeah, like that kind of weirdness. Yeah, Amber Steel, Purple Steel, and Blurple. Those are the biggest three, the quote unquote biggest three talked about decks right now. But like, even with those three being like the probably the most play tested, like, what happens when somebody just figures out like an emerald steel list that can come in for it?
Oh boy.
You know what I mean? Like that, like take a DLC Las Vegas for example, when Zan just like out of nowhere just wrecked people with Emerald Steel all day because Bucky's banned, or Bucky got errated. Nobody's gonna be playing Bucky, so Emerald Steel's now dead. We're not gonna playtest Emerald Steel because it's just doo doo. But then Zan's like, I think that this is still just the best deck, guys. And that's kind of like the point that's kind of one of the point that I want to hit on is like, just because like there are decks not being talked about doesn't mean that there's a secretly like a secret best deck out there that's just good into everything in the format.
Yeah, I would just block out the noise and just test whatever you want to test. Like, don't listen to like the doomers. Like, don't say, oh well, what's the point in playing this deck because it loses to Amber Steel
Right.
aggro.
Yeah,
like you like this is like it's wide open. Test what you want to test. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then try something else.
Right.
And I think this is like your time to shine. If you have like a wacky, like a quote unquote wacky idea you want to try,
right.
and this is your time to let it shine. It's a blank slate. It's not like, oh, here's set 6, but go into set 7. The red, blue, and blah 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 have been better, so like my decks just can't compete. No, now it's like we're at an even playing field for the most part. Like, if there's a will, there is a way, and this is like your time to shine, and that's what makes me excited about seeing this. I think something quote unquote off meta is gonna win SSG this weekend.
All right, so land it. I want to get deck predictions from you two after to wrap things up. But Landon, what do you think about what the doc just said?
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. Moving forward into set 9, you can almost play whatever you want, or at least play test it and have a shot going into probably even into set champs. I mean, we know this set champ season is gonna be somewhat sweaty with the mat and the promos and whatnot. But I mean, anything from Amber Sapphire to Red Green is hyped up to Purple Steel. There's a little bit of Red Steel talk. There's the Green Purple deck, the Tempo deck that's always been good gets a little bit of tools. So yeah, I'm very excited. And the blank slate I think is probably the best point you could make. Right? There's not something where it's like this is the first time you're losing stuff while you're
Right.
gaining. And granted, we're not losing everything, and we didn't gain a bunch, but like you said, it's gonna feel like a new game. That's one thing for sure. And I think some people have just gotten so complacent playing the meta that we were in, they just don't want to relearn what they're gonna have to do. So
yeah, I can agree with those points. There was something I was gonna add on to that. I forgot what it was. If I remember, we'll circle back. But all right. So Dr. Nog SSG is this weekend,
Yes, that's what I've been told.
right? So what do you like? What is your deck list prediction? What color combo do you think is gonna win SSG?
So I think that the sleeper, not I don't want to say sleeper. I don't say that because it's we don't know what the meta is.
Right.
But
I
I
hope he
think.
doesn't take my pick.
Do you want to go first then?
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Lay it on
I,
him, Doctor.
He's got a backup.
I think no, I think that I think Sapphire Emerald's gonna do really
Okay,
well.
we're good.
Emerald Sapphire.
I think
Okay.
yeah, I think the as a somebody posted the like Amber Seal, Purple Seal, and Blurple. I think that deck does really well into all
Those
three of those
three.
decks. Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's got like a lot of like it's got a lot of control options. You can control a hand, you can control the field,
Right.
you can even control the ink if you really wanted to.
Oh yeah.
And so I think uh if it when that deck fires off, dude, I think it's really hard to beat.
I very much agree with I agree that I agree with legitimate business person here. He says Emerald Sapphire attacks the meta in a very weird angle. And to like reiterate on that, like you can play a one copy of Bend to My Will and like really mess up like Amethyst players. You
Yep.
could play like under the one copy of Under the Sea. It just mess up aggro players.
Mm-hmm.
And then for like what's the other one? Blurple?
Blurple.
Yeah, and then for like Blurple, you just like play John Silvers and Rapunzels and their guys can't quest.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really funny. Like it
Not to mention it has a fairly great reliable card draw engine. So
yeah. There's just like there's a lot of really neat tool. I think that Emerald Sapphire is like a controlled toolbox kind of deck.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like
You can play, like I said, Bend in My Whale, Under the Sea with your heads held high.
yeah.
That clears everything. You can play Ink Geyser in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can play you play Clarabelle. You know that Basil, that 7-drop Basil is like if it gets established is really annoying. And then like yeah, like it's just I think it has a lot of tools, but I mean no, it is balanced by like it's a little bit inconsistent. You play a lot of uninkable, so you can get bricked up pretty bad in a bad way, and then yeah, I think if like the aggro decks get off to a really fast start, you know, you just kind of you're a little slow.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Landon,
yes.
SSG pick. What do
All
you
right, you
think?
ready for my SSG pick?
What are you thinking here?
I think purple green evasives is probably it's gonna take it down.
Purple green evasives. All right. What?
Yeah,
Okay. Let's talk about it.
So I think green has card draw what they don't have. Amethyst definitely has for them. You have the best evasive package. You get to play the new genie. You have bounce. You have the board wipe if that's that's gonna be still around. Granted, it doesn't hit everything.
Right.
There's just I don't know if I mentioned you have the pull the lever wrong lever package. There's all these great options for putting stuff back in your opponent's hand, getting stuff out of their hand. I think, and I've play tested against it a few times, and I just feel like it's very oppressive. You have to play. Yeah, the legitimate business person makes a good point. You have Go-Go in a meta against Blurple where everything just has 5 or 6 toughness. I mean, you
Tons of
just win a
damage.
game out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so that's
Dude.
one thing that I think, almost playing around it, you lose to them just aggroing out. And playing into it, you lose to just some of the craziest stuff. So I
I
think
got
pull the lever, wrong lever is going to be pretty good this weekend.
I got go-go'd for 6 off an elephant once.
Yeah. So,
Dude, that's amazing.
But yeah,
I think purple green has a really good spot in the meta right now, and it's not the discard thing anymore. It's more of just the evasive tempo. So
Yeah, I do like the purple green as a deck. Go is just so good. Like it's because damage count without Rapunzels and stuff like that. Like damage counters don't go away. I mean, unless you're playing Baymax, but
Or
like
Julieta Magical.
yeah, right. But like like damage counters. You could play a Mulan on one and get Go on turn 4 for 2. Just because like those damage counters aren't going anywhere. That's that like yeah, I definitely like the green purple pick. I like the emerald sapphire pick. My pick for SSG winning is going to be blue steel allies, like the Harlan Sweet list, because
Okay.
it being like because sapphire steel's in this really weird place to where like you can just do so many different things and you can just generate so much free value off of like Aladdin quest. Plays Doc for free, you draw 2 cards, you do the Jasmine thing, you find another ally that, and then having the top end as like Scar, so you can banish uh Scar, so you can banish an ally, draw additional cards. Like one of the biggest things is running out of resource in this game right now, and I don't feel like Sapphire Steel runs out of resources very easy, and they just like just so much free value just from playing free characters.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the only color pairings that combats our point of a complete reset. Where they did lose certain cards in their play style of what
Right.
they were doing before, it almost feels like where every deck took a hit, Sapphire Steel kind of stayed stagnant. And
Right.
where it felt like a weaker color pairing last set, it could just, have everything it needs now and not have to worry about the things that completely beat it down before.
Right. One of the things that I think is like a don't want to say like a cool combo, but something that I actually do want to test is like the 4-drop 6/6 quest for 3 Arthur. That like
Yeah, okay.
you
You
skip,
don't draw. Yeah.
right, you skip your draw step, but if you can establish a Scar the following turn and just get your draw engine that way, like your opponent's eventually gonna kill it. Like your 6/6 Arthur, but like it's gonna take so much to get rid of it.
Dude, I
I
saw a
do.
Sunflounder still list playing Dino, and it was playing Tinkerbells and then the Hercules Bodyguard.
That's kind of hot.
Yeah, because I play the Allied deck and I think it's a little inconsistent. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was playing against the Sapphire Steel list and it set up like 6 singers, like a 6-cost character, and then it would sing Dino.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it would either go into a Tinkerbell to clear my board, or it would set up like a bodyguard to protect their board with singers, and it was kind of nice. It was very frustrating.
No Lady Cluck, huh?
I don't know that they were. I didn't see it, but maybe does it cost 6?
I can't remember. I
Yeah,
just
because I think
know
the whole
Blue
gimmick
Steel
was it
one that
was
they didn't like.
the whole gimmick was just it's a 6-cost deck, so everything can like come off of down in New Orleans.
Right. Yeah. It's yeah, it's a 5-cost ward and I don't know if it has resist, but it's like a 2/6 bodyguard with resist or with ward, which is,
That's pretty nice.
I mean, it's 2/7.
2/7 ward.
Yeah, that's a big body,
That's
dude.
yeah, she's clucking, dude.
Dude, she is. Yeah. But guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Dr. Nog's got Emerald Sapphire. Amadeus has got Glurple.
Glurple.
Oh,
Glur
okay.
Glurple.
Glurple.
Glurple. And then I'm gonna go with the blue steel pick. So Dr. Nog, let's start with you. Do you want to give any shout outs?
Shout outs to you guys for letting me come on.
Dude.
It's fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. Anytime.
Letting me yap for an hour.
Dude, it's just vent your frustrations with the negativity, dude. We like that. Coming from the doctor himself, you need to get off the negative stuff. It's bad for you.
It's not.
It's bad for your
It's not
brain.
good for you.
It's bad
It's
for your
not good
brain.
for your health.
It's bad
It's
for
not
your
good for your
brain.
health, guys.
Yeah, bad for your arteries for sure.
Amadeus, what about you?
Guess I got one more. One more time. Yeah.
You just want to show off that
Uh,
iconic. That's the mini, right? I love that card.
that is the mini. That is the mini. So
Hey,
just
when I
make it
pull
no.
when I pull the Mickey tomorrow, I'll sell it to you.
Perfect. No, not just shout outs to the team, to the doctor for coming on. We appreciate you, and yeah, make sure you guys are getting your decks ready and paying attention because it's almost time.
It's dude, we have competitive play this weekend, so more testing
Mm-hmm.
for us. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. This has been episode 25 of the Sunflounder Chronicles. You could catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Twitter, and Bluesky. So make sure you guys drop the follows, and we'll catch you later. See you next week.
Have a good one.
Take care.